Well, hello, this is Dee with Backpack Journeys. I'm going to be doing a little update here on riding Amtrak, train travel during the pandemic. I first off want to tell you that originally I was going to do a series this summer of going to different small stations with historical significance and show you the town and the stations. Not going to be able to do that because where I am in North Carolina, we are one of 21, 22 states that are having an uptick in cases. And so I'm going to be staying closer to home, not going to be doing that. And I found out that some of the train schedules have been cut way back. So I do want to be able to show you a train in most of the places that I go. So that's going to be put on hold. What I'm going to be doing instead are two things. So hang with me. One thing is, if you are taking a trip, a lot of people are going to be traveling in the next few months. If you are going to be taking a trip, then you can email me, and you want some help, you can go to www.amtrak.com. You can make your reservations. You can call customer service. They're most helpful. But if you still don't know, have questions or don't know what to do, feel free to contact me through email. My email's in the description box below. Tell me where you're going to be leaving and where you'd like to go. You have to have some kind of destination in mind. We are doing Amtrak, which is the United States, and I will give you some ideas based on my experience and what trains to take and what may or may not be running, because I'm very familiar with how to work the website and this, that, and the other. So I will do that through the summer of 2020. Okay? I will do that for you. Another thing is what I'm going to do, since most of my train viewers and views have come from tips, I'm going to be giving tips about the long distance trains, the California Zephyr, the Empire Builder, and the Southwest Chief. I have ridden all three of these trains round trip. So I will answer the most common questions people have. So I will be doing that instead from my home, since I am still socially distancing myself, and we have to wear masks and whatnot. So going out and being among other people probably is not a good idea right now and through the summer. Hope everybody understands. Hope everybody stays safe. Now today I'm going to give you just a few tips and updates on Amtrak from what I know. It does change what I know if you are planning to go. Please do not go on a train simply because you think they're cutting back, or it's not enjoyable, or it's not safe, or whatever. If you feel, number one, if you feel safe traveling, by all means travel. If you do not feel safe traveling, by all means do not travel. That is a personal choice. But however, Amtrak is requiring masks. If you are anti-mask, this is not for you. Just like airlines are starting to require a mask, Amtrak requires masks. They may require, there's some talk about some of the trains, or all the trains, requiring social distancing, only be not full capacity. That's in coach. So keep that in mind. A lot of people I know that are traveling have already gotten their tickets. Go ahead and get your tickets. What you do, go ahead and get your tickets. If you get the kind that's flexible, that you can get a refund in case something happens and you decide you don't feel safe traveling in a few months, then you can get your money back. But tickets are probably going pretty quickly to the most popular destinations, especially. I'll just tell you, it's a little aside. I just told you that the campgrounds in North Carolina are starting to open up. I have tried to get, in some of the parks, I've tried to get camping spot for a couple of places, and they're booked all the way through the summer already. They just opened up last week, and they're already booked. So I'm not going to be doing camping either. So remember, you got to wear a mask. Go ahead and make your reservations. Get the flexible type where you can get a refund. Now the question is, do I ride coach or do I ride in a sleeper car? A lot of people right now feel more comfortable getting in a sleeper car because you're not, they say you're not breathing anybody else's air. I think when you got the sleeper car, door closed and it's totally private, I believe you're able to take your mask off. Not 100% sure, but you may be able to. Now, the drawback to that I see is that there are people, and I think quite a few, who think they're getting the sleeper car thinking you're only going to breathe your own air and you're not going to be in contact with other people. Remember, this is not an individual home. It's not an apartment. It's not a hotel room. You're still going to get the canned air. You're still going to breathe other people's air. Okay? Just sleeper cars, there will be fewer people air that you're going to be breathing as opposed to coach. So I think that's a mistake people make, or an assumption, I don't know, the right word won't come to me right now, is that if I get a sleeper car, then I'll be breathing my own air. I won't be in contact with anybody else whatsoever. That's not totally true. You're still going to be breathing the air that comes in through that car. Okay? They keep it clean as can be. I say as clean as can be. It is mass transit. So it's not going to be the same as riding in your own car. So keep that in mind. That's an option. I think myself, if I were traveling right now, which I'm not on a train, I would get the sleeper car. I would just recommend that for the simple reason you are not in as close contact as other people. So if you're not worried at all, coach will be fine. They may be cutting back on with the distancing anyway, and I'm not quite 100% sure in which trains may be doing that. It's not a universal, what Amtrak is doing is not universal. Some trains are being cut back. Some trains, they have fewer cars. Some trains, they've cut back schedules. I know from my home base, I call them commuter trains. They're 2 trains that go through several times a day, mainly carrying people to work. So I just call them commuter trains. One has been cut completely out right now, and one that usually runs every few hours, several times a day, is down to 1 time a day now. So it depends on the train. No 2 trains are alike. You have to look that up. Also keep in mind, please don't complain about the food. Amtrak's doing the best it can to stay afloat right now. Yes, there are problems. No, the food is not like it was 5-10 years ago. It's not like it was last year. Last year wasn't like it was the year before. I've been riding trains for 2 years and over 20,000 miles in those 2 years. I can say no 2 trains have the same type of food anyway. So if you get a sleeper car and you think you're going to get your free food, you're going to get your steak and your baked potato and whatnot, you may not. You may get a boxed lunch. Keep that in mind. Don't complain about it too much. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. Okay? The food, yes, that's one way they're cutting back. They're trying to keep the train on the rails and going. What's the alternative? Look at the airlines right now. What's the alternative? Keep Amtrak on the road, on the rails. It's a great ride. It's a great way to go. It's a great way to meet people. There's all the main things I want to tell you about riding. I will review them real quick. Masks are required. No exceptions when you're in the train. No exception. To my knowledge, no exceptions. Number 2, book early. Trains are going to fill up because they don't have as they're not running as often, or they don't have as longer trains. If it's a longer train, they don't have as many cars going. And number 3, the food. Take plenty of food, snacks and whatnot. Be prepared to eat in the cafe car. You may or may not get a full diner in the dining experience. Okay? So I hope this helps. Again, I'm going to be doing little mini tips. These are tips I have right now for riding Amtrak. Please, if you feel comfortable, please go. Support Amtrak. We need to be supporters to keep, we as in I feel like I'm part of Amtrak. Amtrak needs your support to keep going, to keep moving past this pandemic if we want to see the rails. Okay, again, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. I will answer them. If you want specific questions about your trip, shoot me an email and I'll see what I can do. I will respond to you. Okay, until then, happy rails.